All right, welcome back. We're going to get into some mail for August 2020. Let's get into it. Now, before we get into the mail, I just wanted to go over the mid-roll ads that were placed upon all of my videos by YouTube without my knowledge. Now, they had given notice that they were going to do this to creators back on July 7th, but they gave you an option to opt out, which I did so immediately because I don't want the lessons to be interrupted. Having an ad before a video that you can skip or whatever, that's not a big deal. But just being interrupted in the middle of a talk is not something that I wanted, and so I opted out. But they went ahead and put mid-roll ads on all of my videos anyway. I should have known something was up when the ad revenue was slightly higher than months prior by like $50, but I didn't think anything of it. I just thought maybe more people were watching. That is until I saw another YouTuber complaining that mid-roll ads had been placed upon all of his videos without his knowledge, saying that he never got notified. Well, I got the email and thought I was safe from opting out, but I figured I'd better go check anyway. And that's when I discovered that YouTube had completely screwed the pooch, me being the pooch, because mid-roll ads were enabled upon every single video that I have, regardless of my having opted out. Now, it took some time in doing, but mid-roll ads have now been disabled across my entire channel. Things should be back to normal. If it's not, and you find a video with mid-roll ads on it, let me know, and I will fix it. I do apologize for it. Perhaps I shouldn't have taken YouTube at its word. It was never my intention. Nobody wants to have the video they're watching interrupted in the middle of it. If I'm going to have mid-roll ads, they're going to be for my own products, not something just breaking into the middle of the video. Okay? So I do apologize. I know there's some people probably thinking, oh, Frater's just being greedy, putting 3 mid-ad rolls in a 10-minute video. But no, that's not the case at all. YouTube doesn't pay nearly as good as it used to, so it's simply not worth it to me. I would much rather everyone have a quality viewing experience than to make a few extra bucks annoying everyone. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get into the mail. Hey, Frater Xavier. Recently, the house I purchased in March of 2020 has experienced flooding in April and May. Yeah, having experienced more flooding than I ever cared to myself, I can sympathize with that. Currently, I am putting backflow valves on the storm and sanitary line so that the water hopefully will not come through the sewer or drains in the basement. I've dug down 7 feet by hand and would like to put some protection of some sort down in the hole near the valves. Perhaps a servitor or two, one for each valve, something preferably that I can bury. Any suggestions or tips will be greatly appreciated. Okay, so servitors, you have to feed them. They require energy to keep going from time to time. And they're non-physical, so you don't have to bury them. They can pass through material just fine. But I think that creating a servitor to guard 2 valves is kind of overkill. And one hell of a boring job for the servitor at that. If you're going to have a servitor protect, then protecting all your property would be better, in my opinion. Or you can create one whose sole purpose is to prevent flooding, not just from the valves. Because when you get specific like that, then flooding can come from other places. And, well, I mean, the valves were fine, and it did its job, but did absolutely nothing to prevent the other source of flooding. Make sense? That's probably the way I would go. I mean, if the valves are put in right, you probably don't need a servitor on them anyway, as long as the valves are doing their job. But if you're going to make one to help protect against flooding, I would do so with the entire property in mind and make it adaptable to different flooding circumstances and sources. He continues, so far I've had great success with your programs, such as the Secrets of Wealth. I bought a house with unknown water problems, have a few thousand in the bank, and even those around me now are getting their finances together. So thank you for putting out your programs. I hate to ask for more of your advice, but what you have taught me has worked for me greatly. Thanks again. And you're welcome. Thanks for the question and for all your support. Frater Xavier, in one of your videos you said something about having the symbol of Jupiter and the Sun in your business logo in order to be seen and have growth. Should these symbols be visible, or can they be somewhat hidden, more like a sigil? Well, you just answered your own question by saying Sun and Jupiter in the logo in order to be seen. So they should be seen. That's what the sun is for, drawing attention to something. That's why it corresponds to fame. It's the brightest object in the sky. Lights up the entire world. And Jupiter is growth and expansion, not something that you would want to keep hidden or be able to easily hide. So I would say both of those should be seen, if you can manage them in your logo. And I appreciate the question. Thank you. I need help. I have found an extremely hexed Dybbuk box that has some very personal stuff surrounding it. I will spare you the details, and I won't take or send a picture unless you are ready. I need to get rid of this thing, and I need to do it the right way. I will 100% pay you for the guidance. The work here is pretty complicated and personal. I have to do this exactly right. I could even mail it to you and just pass the football so that you could burn it in God's flame. Thank you so much, and truly my best regards. No, don't send me no Dybbuk box. While I'm sure it's not the infamous Dybbuk box, considered by many to be the world's most haunted object, there are only supposed to be like 10 in the world, which are supposed to correspond with the Sephiroth on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. That's what I've read anyway. And I believe Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures fame owns like 2 of them. So maybe contact him and see if he wants it. He seems to be collecting them. My advice when coming across cursed or hexed objects like that is, first of all, don't touch it. If it absolutely must be moved, then at least use gloves or something. I wouldn't use your bare hands. If it's truly an authentic Dybbuk box, then you're probably going to need to call in some professional help. Someone with experience with exorcism and probably a medium. I don't think just a bottle of Jinx Killer oil is going to suffice. And I know you're like, well, that's why I'm asking you, Frater. But I don't want anything to do with it. Well, you could always do what John Zaffis does and just encase it in glass surrounded by consecrated salt. But if you're looking to destroy it, then yeah, that's when it gets a bit riskier. I really think that your best bet is to get it authenticated and then sell it. Believe it or not, there's some people that actually want this kind of stuff. At least at first. As I said, Zach Bagans owns 2. So he's definitely not concerned about having them. And I believe he employs the same encasing in glass method that John Zaffis does with his haunted items. So I hope that helps, and I wish I could have been more help, but I have zero interest in handling a cursed Dybbuk box at this point in my life. I just got everything good, man. I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, ask Zach Bagans or John Zaffis if they want it first. I would ask them. They collect that kind of stuff. And thanks for the question. Hi, Frater. I know you're a busy man, but I wanted to thank you for everything. You have helped me so much through your inspirational audios and teachings. I followed you last year on YouTube, but as a beginner magician, I honestly didn't understand a word you were saying. But I continued increasing my knowledge of the occult by studying every moment I could, and have had successful workings on my own. Negative, but the workings manifested. Then a few weeks back, my subconscious told me to go back to you. Starting on YouTube lesson number 1, everything began falling into place and my knowledge increased thanks to you. I understand it all so much now. Applying all your teachings and programs, I pretty much bought them all, has amped my life in magic by at least 85%. Almost everything I'm doing now has positive results, where before things manifested, but always had negative consequences. Also in the process of Kabbalah magic, and I love every single moment of it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and keep on rolling, changing lives for the better. Much love from California. And thank you for all the kind words. Yeah, now you know when I talk about those in the know, because now you get it. Now you know. Whereas before you didn't know. You didn't know what the hell I was talking about. But now you get it. Yeah, good stuff. And I'm glad that things are turning around for you. Keep up the great work. And that's all the time we will have for today. Share and like this video if you enjoyed it. It does help other people find it. Check out the shirts and masks over at the Mind and Magic Teespring store, where I'm giving free shipping for this week only, now through next Friday. U.S. orders only. If they let me give free shipping worldwide, I would, but this promo is only available in the United States. Check me out at all the usual places: Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, Subscribestar, and BitChute. This is Frater Xavier, and I want to thank you for listening. Take care.